Alright, hello and welcome everyone here to CEVO-Main Season 4. We've got a nice best of 3 here between CNB eSports Club, the recently sponsored up Swag and Tiger. They're facing off against a fairly well-known, at least in the CEVO community in North America, Top5. I'm Helium, and with me is Chicago Ted.
Hello, hello. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good, a little tired. It is Monday, after all, trying to get off that weekend sleep schedule, back into the work week. But we're here with some good Dota.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to watching both these teams. You just mentioned Swag, their new sponsor got going on here, and Top5, who have constantly surprised us in this league. So I'm just looking forward to seeing this good game. And the band's already coming out. Some pretty standard stuff that we've been seeing the past couple of weeks.
Indeed, and looking at these bands, yeah, like you said, Ancient Apparition, very, very popular now, so we're seeing it banned out. I don't mind it in a first-round ban, because then it opens the door to other newer heroes that are emerging out in the field. Like, we've seen Centaur getting picked up, we've seen Lycan getting picked up in a much different role than he was back in his TI2 days, but we see Top5, there it is, the Lycan. They also take out the Bristleback, and CNB taking out that pretty OP Invoker.
Right, and so you mentioned, I think, the Lycan being picked up first, and that's an interesting pick, especially to grab as a first position pick. I usually see him at least third or fourth, maybe last, but first it's going to give away a lot of what Top5 are going to do now, and that's giving away the idea that they're going to be split pushing quite often with this guy who, quite honestly, is probably one of the best tower pushers in the game. And CNB, they respond quite nicely. They pick up the Bat Rider, the guy that's going to see the Lycan, the common BKB carrier, and with that lasso, should be able to shut him down fairly easily.
Yeah, also Bat re-emerging in the scene as well. So we could see that as a middle, we could see that as an offlaner. It'll be interesting to note where the Nyx Assassin is going to go, because of course it can still function very, very well in that support role. It can go mid and it can offlane, so we'll see how they want to use it. I'm expecting it to be a support after seeing the Bat, and then right away we do see a Bane, and with that Nightmare, he's pretty good at shutting down that initiation from the Bat Rider with the lasso. You can either Nightmare the Bat or Nightmare whoever gets lassoed away.
Yeah, if you've got quick fingers, then the Nightmare will do a good job at getting him down, but if the Bat Rider's quick, blink in, force staff out with the Lycan in hand, I mean, they've got plenty to follow up. And the Lycan, whose main escape ability, whose main mobility, it comes from his ultimate, which gives him that unobstructed max movement speed. And if he gets just stun locked, that doesn't really do much for him. So even if he gets Nightmare, the lasso still will keep him in place for a good amount of time. And you have the Clock getting banned out, which is another one of those heroes that locks down the Lycanthrope, that movement speed, very well. So he obviously gets taken out. The Wisp gone as well. And CNB just hating on the Lightning. They take out Disruptor and the Storm Spirit.
Alright, nicely done. As you go over the bans, I was looking back over at the teams here on CEVO.com. CNB eSports, they're actually sitting at 3-1 right now, having a win against what was Denial Esports when it was still actually Denial Esports. So nicely done. They've taken a couple forfeit wins and then taking out 2 lesser-known teams. Unfortunately, it looks like they did take 1 forfeit loss, so that's their 1 loss there. Looking over at the side of Top5, they've played more matches and they've struggled a little more, maybe as a result of that. They're sitting at 3-3, so still right at that 500 mark. They took a win at a newly formed team, Bag of Chips and Pepperoni, who were quite good. Took a win over the Bird's Nest and Los Mivos Hermanos, dropping games to eHug, not surprisingly. WWD, back when IX Mike was on it, and Voss AV, which is a remake. It's got Relic and Goody on it, back from when Typical Mistakes / Shadow Fiend Eats Cake, so definitely a quality team to look out for. But we're here tonight, as the other room, you might be able to tell, a little loud.
It's fine. You mentioned how they faced off against eHug, and yeah, it's no surprise that they lost to eHug, as eHug right now is the only team that is undefeated, closely followed by the 6-1 No Earth Spirits. So, yeah, we've definitely seen the titans of the game right now, and eHug being one of them.
Oh, I may have misspoke, actually. I think No Earth Spirit is the team with Goody and Relic. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's No Earth Spirit. That is the former Typical Mistakes and Shadow Fiend Eats Cake.
Top five, they're feeling the rat right now. They got the Rat Master, Lycan, and the Rat King Prophet. So I'm I'm really interested to see where this is gonna go. Is CNB gonna be able to deal with this? I mean, they did pick up the Nyx, which does very well versus the Nature's Prophet. Being an intelligence hero, the mana burn's gonna hurt like a bitch, and Nyx Assassin will be able to rotate often and get those ganks. So I wonder if CNB are. Well, I wonder if top five are going to be able to do exactly what they want to with CNB knowing exactly what the strategy is this early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been working for teams like Empire that have just been first picking this Lycan, getting up a Nature's Prophet, maybe someone else who can push decently early, and the strategy is very obvious. It's just whether or not you can formulate a draft to stop it, and I think they're doing well. Nyx Assassin, if he gets his levels early enough, he'll be pretty strong with the multiple person impale, but he's not going to be able to use the Vendetta that much because top 5 is going to be as 5. Nature's Prophet not going to be a King Rat this game unless it goes really late, I think. And we can see how well Batrider as well as Slark will do. Slark should be pretty good here because there's no AoE damage or stuns on the side of top 5. So if he goes into Shadow Dance, he can just kill people.
Yeah, definitely. That might try to urge top 5 to pick up something like that, but they decide to continue. Yeah, they decide to continue down their line of these. I don't know. I guess Vengeful Spirit helps buff Bane and Nature's Prophet attack damage.
It's good for pushing. I mean, and taking Roshans quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely. So definitely no AoE in that though, as you mentioned, and they might be hard pressed to try to pick up a mid laner that can go for that sort of AoE. I'm trying to think of who would work best in that situation, but to be perfectly honest, I mean, I don't know if they can pick up a mid player just to directly counter this Slark. Or
I mean, it's not really a one-person job. You generally like to have a couple more heroes layering up, like maybe a Jakiro with the puck, another support. Sand King comes to mind as well. Could have been good.
Oh yes,
not quite as strong for pushing. And Bane is actually really bad versus Slark. You can't Dark Pact out Enfeeble, but you can Dark Pact out of Fiend's Grip. So Bane, whoever plays that is going to have to be careful not to just use that on Slark if Dark Pact has already been cast. And you can also Dark Pact out of Nightmare, but we do see Puck getting banned out. I think that was maybe the best pick for top 5 here, as we talked about needing that AoE. And then the OD is going to get banned out. Still an annoying hero, not quite what it was, but still warrants a ban.
So right now, what are we looking at? What we need? I think CNB, if they decide to not run the Slark as a hard carry, which I kind of like, then they do need to pick up that sort of farmer carry role to go with the Nyx and the Rubik. If not, they can just throw the Slark in that lane, which I don't really see as a possibility, but they could do it. I've seen weirder. And decide to go with another solo laner. Top 5, though?
Yes!
Yep. They're going to pick up the Centaur.
I talked about it, man. I talked about it.
You talked about it, and you know, I can't help but say every single time this guy comes up that I don't like him.
You're a hater.
I'm a hater, but it's a well ingrained hate in the fact that I don't think he's a good hero. To be perfectly honest.
I mean, he's a really strong 1v1 laner. He doesn't need a lot of farm. He just gets that Blink Dagger, turns into Slardar for a little bit. But he can't take you to the late game, so you're definitely right there. You need to get it done a little early on. You need to stampede, if you will, over your opponent.
Well, the stampede I've been seeing the Centaur pick up commonly with this Batrider as the sort of aid to help him get that lasso as far as possible, but that's an entirely bad waste of his ultimate. I mean, you take a look, that spell is good for not only making your allies move fast, but also doing the damage and the slow on contact. So I really don't feel like it's great for that initiation with the Batrider as much as it is for big team fights where you've got guys that can run around and get auto attacks off. And when you're looking at this team, they've got Rubik, Nyx, and Batrider, 3 heroes that don't typically get in the knit and grit of the fight. So I don't really see many applications. Meanwhile, haven't you talked about loving Shadow Shaman as the...
Dude, he's so awesome. And Fly's going to be taking him likely into the mid lane, maybe farming it, but I think it's farming it as a core, I mean, in the safe, like we saw KVH doing for Sna +4. But yeah, it should be a mid lane Shadow Shaman. I think this hero is really underrated. I remember like a year and a half ago watching some of the last, bigger Dota 1 events that were still getting covered. Shadow Shaman was in mid like every game back then. And that was a couple patches ago in a game that has all of the heroes. So I think he's strong. We do see him going mid. He's expecting a Batrider. He picks up a Magic Stick, but let's go ahead and introduce the teams. I'll stay with top 5. We do have Fly in the middle lane on the Shadow Shaman. The Lycan, the new flavor of the month. He's back just in time for TI4. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, otherwise known as Zon, 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 otherwise known as Fight, Fight, Fight. I don't know. We'll call them 1, 2, 3 probably for most of the evening. It's easier that way. This is Teacher D, I believe, playing the Vengeful Spirit. And we've got 3, 2, 1, sometimes known as Whatever. He's going to be playing up that Bane. He seems to be a big fan of One Piece. And into the Fountain, it's going to be XXX, standing in for Shanks, which I believe is the captain. He's going to be playing that offlane Nature's Prophet.
All right, so looking on the other side of the river, we have Beguina. We'll be playing the Rubik. Ned on the Nyx Assassin. 4DR loves F on the Slug.
It's ADR.
ADR, wow.
We were wrong the last time we cast. We got very flamed.
Kingrid will be playing the Batrider. And last but most certainly not least on my least favorite hero, the Centaur War Runner being picked up by Tavo. And I will amend that statement. My least favorite is Spirit Breaker, but we'll look past that.
Well, he's useless now, so at least we've got that going for us.
Yeah. All right, so great creep block by Fly right now. Getting the Creep Equilibrium close to his side of the river, forcing Kingrid to kind of move a little bit. But Kingrid is going to do exactly what a Batrider needs to do and just try to stack up the sticky napalms. We can already see Fly with one stack turns like a rusty railway junction is what I was thinking, but I just couldn't speak it fast enough.
The double damage wrap around here, though. They set up the stuns. DD on the Bane. This is King RD or Kingrid. He's going down. Fly is going to draw the first blood, so that's a very, very early wraparound to shut down the Batrider, who is going to do well in this lane. And Fly, of course, started with a Magic Stick, so he's already got 5 charges. Should be sitting pretty for a little while in that lane. He could be in some danger once that Batrider gets up to level 6, though.
Well, it isn't a lane 1 just yet. I mean, a level 1 gank isn't as effective as something that happens like 3 or 4 minutes into the game, but it certainly does help give a little bit of pushing power to Fly, maybe get a little bit of damage on the tower, and get a couple of levels up. You can see he's level 3 compared to the level 1 of the Batrider. Now Tavo could be in a bit of an issue right now as there's Nightmare up. He doesn't have much to stop it. They end up wasting the Magic Missile first. So 3-2-1 opting not to go for the Nightmare. I think it was just a call from 1-2-3 saying, "Yep, I'm at about half health. I don't think I want to take the damage harassing this guy. We probably can't kill him anyway."
Yeah, and actually, well, there was a double damage for that mid sweep around early on. And there was no How. They didn't really need it because of the double damage, but How is something to think about. With Ancient Apparition coming back into the scene, How is pretty much a global chilling touch. It's about half of that. Realistically, but it's very good.
You were watching the cast earlier where they were talking about that. Can't remember what game it was.
I was in that cast on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday cast? Oh, I guess it was.
No, I don't know. We were talking about it as well because it was Fnatic that paired up a Lycan and an Ancient Apparition together, which was ridiculous. It's 70 damage at level 1 with those 2 spells. It's a double damage on every single person, essentially.
It's a bundle in the jungle waiting to happen.
Yeah, it was. They actually didn't run into anybody because MYM was smart enough to dodge, but not quite that game. How, though, I'm sure it'll be online pretty soon. Most people opting for it earlier than back in the day when it was played during TI2. Meanwhile, top lane, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, just some ward wars happening right now. Ned doing a good job at keeping the vision away and making sure that XXX constantly feels like he has no control over this lane, which is exactly what a Nature's Prophet has to feel when you're going against him. Because if he can just walk over you, harass you with his trions, and get vision everywhere, he's going to know what's happening, be able to keep vision on most of the places of the map, rotate accordingly, and you just can't kill him, especially when he goes for the boots early on. And so now without the vision, Rubik can just walk up right behind him like so, and XXX could be in a big trouble. He gets lifted up, put down. Do they have an impale? They do. and he should take a fall here.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about denying a vision away from a nature's prophet. He's up to level 3. He's got the 3 treants. He should never be denied vision. You can have one running this way, a run this way, and one this way. He should be able to keep tabs on everything with those 3 treants and be able to position himself to pick up XP. No, he was not doing that. He's not getting the Bulldog seal of approval. As in bot lane, TP is coming in because of the wraparound here from top 5. It's Tavo, the first of the scene. It's Beguinia who TP's in. 3-2-1 in a bit of trouble. Should be going down. He gets off 1 sap. Ned did also TP. Are they going to let him deny himself here? They will toggle it, and they get the kill. Back over now to T2D on the Venge as he tries to run away. Looks like he will be okay, but look at this. Lycan just going to town on the tower as they force out the Glyph of Fortification.
Yep, this is exactly what a Lycan should be doing. In fact, it's 4.5 minutes, so I'm surprised there are still towers standing on the Dire side. Of course, that is an exaggeration, but going back up to XXX, yeah, you're right. He should definitely be getting vision with those Treants, making sure he can see what's happening. And I'm going to go back to 1-2-3 on the bottom lane as Tavo is just poking him to all high heaven. He's already lower than half HP, probably about a third right now, forced to use up his salve as Tavo just man-moding it up with that axe, going deep just to get the pokes off.
Yeah, and it's really hard to get that return damage in because of Return, the adequately named spell that Centaur does have. It can add up, especially for those supports, lower levels starting to harass a fairly high-leveled Centaur, and you take a lot of damage back. Of course, they haven't spent a lot of time down here. They're rotating around into the mid lane. Nyx Assassin makes his way back bottom for CNB. He did buy up a smoke just now, and I think, do I hear, yeah, Firefly? The courier was about to be sniped, but it will be okay as they send it back to base with that bottle. Rubik going to protect it, but bot lane, maybe some action about to go down.
Yeah, we see Ned waiting in the sidelines. He wants the opportune moment to go in, but in all honesty, I'm not sure if they'll be able to pick up a kill unless they're able to find the Vengeful Spirit far enough away from the tower. They're going to get the stomp, though. Is the Impale there? It is just barely there. And now Venge taking a fall to that double edge. XXX looking for the return kill, getting returned up, though, in a beautiful tango. Getting HyperX Tavo out of that situation. Now return Impale onto XXX. He gets double-edged, and now he takes a fall. Another stomp to secure Tavo's life as the Wolves were almost going to take him down, but 1-2-3 losing his little buddies to the massive hooves of this giant axe guy.
Of the useless hero that Chicago Ted doesn't like. Picking up all these early game kills. He's 1-0-2 right now. As we actually...
Let's wait
Nyx
until
Assassin
he becomes relevant.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin in the bottom lane. In some trouble. He might be going down here. He had a nice bite Carapace, showing why he's a good offlane hero with that regen. And then Centaur showing why, with early levels and early kills, can get his teammates away, make those ganks harder. Mid lane, though, we do see the Shadow Shaman dropping, but he's going to get a rebuttal kill there with his wards. I think King RD is going to want to try to clean some of them up, but it's not going to happen as the bottom tier 1 tower will finally fall.
Lycan doing what he does best, and I don't know if Shadow Shaman knows this. You can deny those wards. That ward sitting about half health that King RD can just walk up. Yeah, just deny it. That's a fun tip for any of you who don't know.
Does it still have to be 10% though, right? It's not quite there.
It's halfway, isn't it? Yeah, it's halfway.
Oh, those are at 50% apparently.
Yeah, it should be. See, he's not even trying it at all.
Learn something every day. Yeah, well, he's getting farm with them, so I guess he doesn't really care. And they're going to run out.
I guess. But if King RD wanted to farm those low ones, he could have because they weren't being denied, but whatever. And in the off lane, XXX top. He is now spreading out his Treants, doing good with that. So learning from his mistakes, but unfortunately the damage has been done. ADR. I don't know why he types a 4 in his name if he wants to be A, but
that's standard. That's lead speak for A. We all know this. Maybe you don't.
To each his own, I guess, but it looks like he is doing fairly well. 0-0-1, but 34-10 on the CS board, and just overall soaking in the XP, soaking in the cash, level 7, doing fairly well.
Yeah, man, this Lycan, he's farming up a storm. 56 last hits. He's got a Vlad's. He's got a Medallion of Courage. He's ready to slay Roche, even though they're on the Radiant, absolutely whenever. But here comes 3-2-1 in trouble with the Vendetta Strike. First of the game, Tavo going to go ahead and pick up another kill there. So his Blink Dagger is quickly on the way. But look at that, Blink Dagger out on the Shadow Shaman here, and a Blink Dagger up on the Batrider. So both of those heroes are ready to get their initiation as top lane XXX going to get forced off slightly, but, you know, he's getting his levels, trying to finish the phase, and then I would assume the Midas. Although, if they want to get it done early, maybe picking up a Necro instead.
Smoke up on the fly, though, and for an 8-minute boot blink bottle is incredible. The triple B, I mean, that's a mid-lane shadow shaman.
Triple B.
The triple B at 8 minutes. I mean, that's really good. Now with the blink going straight up in, the Hex on the forward ADR, he's not going to be able to get out. Too much stun, too much lockdown. Don't even need the AoE. Just get the single target before he can react. And, well, he's down. So you can't really react fast enough to a blink initiation like that, especially when Hex is an instant cast.
Yeah, we didn't touch on it when it was happening, but a lot of these camps have been really stacked up by the supports of CNB, so that's facilitating the very early, also an 8-minute blink dagger that came out here for the Batrider, but up top I think there could be some trouble. They are going, if they clicked on the Batrider, the Treant sees him right now, they know he's got the blink. If there's a blink forward by Fly, shackling him up, he can throw the Hex out afterwards, but TP is coming in. Top 5 could be overextending ADR with the Shadow Dance. They cannot target him. Centaur there as well, stampeding up XXX. Gonna be lassoed first of the game. He will go down, but not before Vengeful Spirit. She's going to take the fall beforehand. And this is CNB just playing this very well, clearly. Playing a lot under their new tag and sponsorship, and it's really showing off with their synergy.
Yeah, you know, I talked at the beginning of the game where Stampede requires heroes willing to get in the knit and grit, and you know, for an early game fight, that was exactly what he excels at. Everyone was just willing to get up close and personal, and you could just see the damage stack up, as well as Slark with that Essence Shift just really dealing the heavy deep. So great play by CNB, knowing exactly what their strengths are at the moment, and just making sure that no push, no attempted trade goes unpunished.
Yeah, they're playing exceptionally well, and looking at Centaur as an offlaner, he's level 9. He's one of the highest in the game, along with Batrider, so CNB doing well in the experience charts. Looking at the farm, they don't quite lead that because this Lycan's still doing exceptionally well. He's finished up his treads now, which a lot of Lycans won't even opt to get ever because you just have your boots and you get so much, I don't know if it's attack speed, but you get the extra damage from your ultimate form. And of course, 522 move speed. But yeah, he's doing well, 83 CS. Looking at the net worth, he leads that as well at 5,200. It's Fly, as we said, in the mid lane doing exceptionally well. With the triple B at 4.6 net worth.
The triple B. Did you just say Lycan doesn't get boots?
A lot of people just don't get boots. I mean, Arteezy did it on land versus Cloud9. He just didn't even get boots. Just rush out that Necro book.
Okay, I'm hard-pressed to say that's situational, but okay. Either way, there is a Centaur going in, stampeding straight on in, and now King RD immediately regrets his decision. Will be able to get away because of that Firefly, but there is a case where Stampede doesn't exactly help you, and that's the case where you just can't get the lasso off, and then you're kind of left alone deep into the enemy territory.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Lycan, look at his ultimate. He's got... Hal gives him damage, and then his ultimate gives him a base attack time of 1.5.
Yeah, but what if he's
damage
not
and
his
critical
ultimate?
Chance and HP. You're farming if you're not in your ultimate. If you have your ultimate, you're pushing towers with your team, so you don't really need the boots. I don't know. Yes, it's situational. It's kind of however you want to play it, but
I really don't think we should be comparing what's useful to what Arteezy does.
Whoa. Shots
well,
fired.
let's be honest. He's a good player. He can make a lot of things work. All right.
I'm on the Arteezy fanboy wagon right now. I'm a sad boy.
All right. You're a sad boy. Okay, I'm still with no tail, so we'll see where that goes.
All right. Smoke up here as we put our differences aside. CNB looking to get it done. That's whatever. King RD with the Blink Dagger looking to initiate. He will get it here. So the treads with the extra tankiness, not in all form, definitely worth it, but it's still not going to be enough. Tavo doing so much damage with rank 4 double edge. It's Batrider picking up that kill, and this should be a tower under the control of CNB.
Well, we're still in where Centaur just is actually effective. I'm looking forward to seeing him fall off, though, because that's kind of what he does.
If he crash and burn.
Either way, it looks like he could be going towards a veil, or what is that called? It's not the veil of Discord.
He's getting a pipe.
My God. Yeah, the Hood of Defiance into the pipe. I cannot believe I screwed that up. Yeah, I originally thought he was going to be going for a Vanguard, but I figured that can't be right. And then I saw his cloak, and Of course, those two items incredibly easy to mix up, so I'm sorry for that one. But a smoke up into the dire jungle. CNB need to be careful as the top 5 are roaming, and it looks like Beguinha knows exactly what's going on and backs himself up right back to the fountain.
Yeah, and the support doing well. I mean, it is only 14 minutes. He's got full mana boots, another 1,000 gold. He's going to continue buying those support items as the smoke tank essentially failed. It's going to run out right now. If they want to get anyone, there they go. They go onto ADR. This instant stun into the shackles, very nice for killing the Slark. We've seen it happen twice. Stampede coming in to counter initiate. Look at this, already perched out on the other side of the map. Here comes CNB. They're going to find everybody. Nyx goes for the courier. They're not going to get it. They turn back for Bane. 3, 2, 1, death.
Yeah, Stampede doing very well to get him in position. Unfortunately, couldn't get that stun off. When you're competing the cast time stuns with the instant disruptions that they've got over on top 5, you'll be hard-pressed to get them off, especially with a Bane who can Nightmare. But XXX on the top lane, he's getting chased down. The Napalm wearing off, though, and that movement speed from the boots helping him out. Phase boots, nonetheless, with the Hand of Midas. Doing fairly well on farm. But overall, that movement speed really helping him get away from that sticky napalm.
Yeah, he's got the phase Midas up before that 15-minute mark. I'm not quite sure when he completed it, but he's right on time. Anywhere in that window, I think, is acceptable. As the Dire Courier is going to get picked off here. What?
Up there.
How does the Dire Courier die right there? If
Nature's Prophet
is... Oh, I thought he had run back to base. I guess he saw it on
No,
the return
he teleported in here, and then he used a TP scroll to get back to base.
Ah, that makes sense.
That's why you always carry a TP scroll with you when you're Nature's Prophet.
Because, of course, they're not on the same cooldown, which is utterly ridiculous.
It is fair and balanced.
Yeah, that's what it is. There were no items on it. It was a return trip, so they're not going to lose out on maybe their timing of the pipe finished up here by Tavo. He's actually getting pretty close to it. He goes for a Vanguard. I disagree. I think I would have liked to see the pipe and some more high ground breaking potential, but team fight in the bottom lane. They will find the Nyx Assassin. Nice toggle off to keep Ned alive. Does he have his ultimate Stampede to get him away? It doesn't quite do it. Instant Hex up here onto Tavo, but here comes the rest of the team stampeding in. As it looks like, did Rubik steal grip? As Centaur could be in some trouble right now. That was just gripped up by Bane. And it's a triple kill here for the Batrider. Make it an ultra kill. You're just fighting in this fire. He's going to be able to take out the XX easily as he tries to run away. Actually, maybe not. He runs back into the cover of those words. Flamebreak's going to get it, and it's a rampage here for the Batrider in just 16 minutes. He's 8-1-2, but Fly cleans it up, and he's going to go ahead and take that 1,076 gold. So, a little shining note there. At the tail end of that for top 5, but overall, not good for them. Otherwise, CNB, quite happy.
Yeah, well, they tried to go in and fight that when the Stampede was up, when they had most of their stuns and initiations ready, and they just took way too much damage in a short amount of time. We saw the Stomp and the double edge hitting on 2. The Fiend's Grip didn't come in time. It ended up happening after all that damage was used up by the Centaur, so they weren't able to block out, and they just took way too much in the beginning of the fight and weren't able to sustain. The Vanguard doing a little bit there, not really helping versus the Fiend's Grip, but overall just blocking out some good auto attacks. And I mentioned how I thought he was going Fiend's Grip, and then was like, oh, Hood of Defiance. Well, I guess I was wrong.
I mean, it should still be his next item unless he wants to get a Blink. He is pretty close to that. So now he's got, the Vanguard to tank up against some of the physical damage, which is very real versus a Lycan, a Vengeful Spirit, Nature's Prophet, a good attack animation as well. And he has the Cloak for some of that spell resistance, of course, to the Ether Shock, or the Ether Shock is very, very strong, or getting Fiend's Grip. But I think they want to break high ground, and he's going to need a pipe to go ahead and do that. We'll see if Rubik or anyone, maybe the Nyx Assassin, can pick up that mechanism. We do see Nyx with an urn, so he does have some heal for his team to help him out when it comes to pushing and sustaining. And meanwhile, items coming out on the side of top 5. We've got 2 Necrobook 1s right now. One for the Lycan, one for Flya. Vlad's, so they're pushing. Is going to be pretty established soon. And they're split pushing online as a Shadow Amulet on the XXX, the Nature's Prophet, as he looks for the Shadow Blade.
That was hilarious. He was sitting right up here with the Shadow Amulet.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, for the good 5-10 seconds. And he actually got hit by the Dark Pack of the Slark head on and took a bit of damage from that, so I thought it was kind of funny. Meanwhile, big push on mid ends up getting quelled immediately as TOP5 makes his way in with the backup of his team, and they're just going to clean up these wards. Some nice gold going their way, about 30 gold each for the bounty. Not too bad to put to the bank, so good defense there and a good little bounty to take with it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a Shadow Shaman, you really want to just use your wards off of cooldown to get a tower every single time, and this is maybe a wake-up call for them that the strategy is not quite working, or they need to do something a little different as those wards get cleaned up under the tower there. And Glyph of Fortification going to be used up in the middle lane on this tier 1. TP's coming in, Batrider already perched up, looking for another Rampage. 3-2-1 is going to get dragged to his death immediately. That was the lasso. TOP5 shackled up here by Fly, but team fighting on the other side of things. Teacher D is going to go down. Double kill here for ADR on the Slark. Now comes in King RD looking to take out 1, 2, 3. Zon. Looking for somebody to fight with him. That is his normal name there. He will get lit up by the Rubik. Drop back down, still trying to run. Batrider going to go ahead and chase Fly into an Impale. 1, 2, 3 going to drop now back over to the Rasta. Earned up, and he's just going to die a slow, painful death. Nyx Assassin will get that kill from the Earn Charge. And it's going to be XXX, the only one to live as he scurries back to base.
Now, Lycan's feeling pretty useless right now. I mean, he's going up against a Slark who has everything he could ever possibly need at the moment. I mean, Slark is a pretty powerful hero as it stands, but he's also going up against plenty of stuns, plenty of lockdown, and his team really isn't able to stand alive during the damage. I mean, look at who they have. They have a Nature's Prophet with 1,000 health. They have a Bane with 900, a Venge with 1,000, and a Shadow Shaman with, I can't see right now, but definitely not a lot of HP. I mean, they're getting cleaned up so fast. They feel really bad. Well, they can't feel really bad. They can't stand alive in a team fight. But the shining light in this situation is the fact that there are Necronomicons coming out, level 2 for Lycan, level 1 for Shadow Shaman, so they're going to be starting to level those up. Of course, in the early levels, they are nothing more than some extra gold for the enemy team, but they start to become pretty powerful level 2 and then become really strong at level 3. So I'm looking forward to seeing them really make use of that, try to solidify these pushes, and hopefully end up taking towers without CNB able to defend.
Yeah, those auras, though, are still pretty nice from
Definitely.
one set of Necro ones. But like you said, the damage and the effect of them really starts to come out at rank 3. As we do see a couple people up here in the top lane actually going to blink away, fear that there is the entire team of top 5. It's not the case, but King RD couldn't have known, so he quickly blinks away. But look at this, Slark so fast. He's also completed up the Shadow Blade, so he's running up here in Viz. There's no wards anyway, but it looks like Lycan did get an eye on him. I'm not really sure how, to be honest. Maybe just pinging it generically, saying, hey, Slark could be coming from here, and he just happened to be there, but okay.
Might have been a check the rune, I don't know, but either way, yeah, I mean, we're on 2-minute delay, I'm pretty sure, so shouldn't be any issue with that.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like they spotted out Lycan, though, so it works both ways, Lycan. And they're going to chase him, but I don't think they can catch up to him. Lycan, though, getting greedy, he's going to end up farming. Now they see him. Now they know to go on him. He might be in a lot of trouble right now. He HyperX for ADR, leaping over the trees. Gonna spot him out as he realizes that he can't chase any further.
Top lane now. Yeah. There's some problems for Fly up in the top lane. Teacher D is there in the Vengeful Spirit. They might be able to take down, they will be able to take down the Rubik with the Brain Sap. Now they're chasing TOP5, so nice counter initiation there. But look at the loop around. Here comes ADR on the Slark. There's a Fiend's Grip going out onto the Batrider. Immediately canceled. 3-3-1 will go down. Teacher D is there. There's some Lycan Wolves. Now I finally see the Lycan RD. Maybe going to drop to the Serpent Wards. TOP5 also still around right there. Slark, meanwhile, taking out more people on the backside of things. 1, 2, 3 now, trying to deal with TOP5. Going to be forced to retreat. Vendetta strike out. And now the Necro unit's going to force off the Nyx Assassin. So Lycan will live on his own merit of just being a badass. But overall, CNB getting a nice team fight there. It's 22-10 right now on the kills. With Batrider, because of all the kills he's picked up in these team fights, leading the net worth charts.
Yeah, CNB are just playing their heroes with absolute understanding of what they need to be doing. At a majority of the time, I mean, they knew they were able to take a fight despite running in underneath the tier 2 tower of top 5. They just ran in, surrounded top 5, and ended up winning the team fight just because the Stampede, getting up close and personal, as I said, getting that damage off, and then following up with all sorts of spells and all sorts of team fight abilities just to secure the team fight. It's just really amazing how well they're playing these heroes.
Yeah, and it looks like Tavo is going to go for Assange. I do say it incorrectly, and I'm okay to admit that. Probably going for Heaven's Halberd, just so when Lycan the Tower Destroyer finds a tower, he won't be able to attack it, and yeah, the Heaven's Halberd is going to be finished up. So they've got that for the Lycan, as ADR looking for some more pickoffs under the guise of his Shadow Blade, the most popular item right now on Slark. He will leap, quick blink away by Fly. He's played an amazing game. He's 6-4-4 right now. The instant Hex, they will Dark Pack that into the Shadow Dance, and now look at this, the power of Slark. What a hero as he takes out one. Now going on to Fly. Looks like ADR is finally going to drop, but not before getting a double kill. Now it's a Lycan, and a mini Lycan, as Banguina is going to go ahead and seal up that form there. Which is the funniest thing I've ever seen, by the way. Its attack speed is so slow. It's cute, I think would be the opportune word, as King RD, he's going to go down. Double kill actually for the Vengeful Spirit, 24-12. I think it's 2 kills each way here. Buyback by the Batrider. Tavo now trying to focus down this Lycan, taking a bit of damage. In the process, they will finally get him. Nyx Assassin with the kill. And now Teacher D going to give up that double kill right away. Better cancel that TB Nature's Prophet, as Bane as well should follow suit. He's actually going to come into the fight for some reason. Not sure what he's thinking. Tavo in a bit of trouble, taking a lot of tower hits. They Nightmare himself, but the Bane is going to take the fall. Actually, wow, he's sustaining for a while here. Going to Nightmare up once more. Now Rubik's going to fall to the tower. 3-2-1, actually making the plays, proving me completely wrong. Ned is going to go down as CNB dives, and suddenly they give up 4 heroes. It was a team wipe. Slark has died and respawned, or maybe he bought back. The Batrider did buy back, so CNB lose 5 there.
It can be 5 minutes, it can be 25, but never dive the tier 1. Never dive the tier 1. Bane just kind of juked him around, was able to sustain himself purely with Brain Sap and maybe his stick, and just kind of wait around for his team to come in, support him, and that's exactly what happened. They came in, helped him out. Tavo was half held when they started the dive, ended up dropping low. Now, wait, we hold on. King RD going to go straight in on Fly, who's already sustained a ton of damage. He could fall without a word said or done here. He's going to drop a gem, actually, and now they're going to see XXX with that newfound eye, trying to run away with the Shadow Blade. He doesn't get very far as he dies as well. Double kill now for King RD, who bought back, as you said, and didn't really find anything in the last fight. Well, now he finds something.
Bane denied himself somehow in the middle of all that damage and fire. That was pretty surprising, as look at this. Ned is already waiting in the Roshan pit, ready to scout out 1, 2, 3 as he looks to do it. Oh, someone's an Necro 3. He will find himself up an Nyx Assassin, and he's going to be forced to back off. So pretty good sense to drop the Necro first. Of course, he wanted their help with Roche, but the True Sight saving his life there as he goes back to farming in the jungle. Meanwhile, up top, this tier 1 going to go down.
Yeah, the tier 1, the bane of their existence, it finally falls. So they're getting some good revenge for that one. But it looks like, for the most part, I mean, you know, actually, top 5 aren't doing that bad when I take a look at the golden XP. I mean, XP is definitely horrendous. It's 10,000 in favor of CNB, which at 7 minutes isn't terrible, but it's definitely not something that you want to see. But gold's actually in top 5's favor. Which, I mean, I guess you could attribute to a lycanthrope farming and a Nature's Prophet and a Midas.
Tower advantage.
But for a game that can be devolved into split pushing, that's exactly what you want to see if you're the side that can rat it out.
Yeah, they do have a sizable tower advantage right now. They have sniped the courier once, which you didn't quite see because it's my camera. But they're controlling this courier so carefully on the side of CNB, as Rasta's going to get jumped out there in the top lane. Now Teacher D also going to be taking the fall. The pickoff potential here and just the team fight capabilities of CNB, like you said, the experience graph is pretty miserable looking right now for top 5. They're behind 12,000, and you could argue that maybe gold's more important, but I don't know. I think if any graph is skewed that much at this point in the game, it's, you know, you're on the road for a comeback right now if you are top 5, but they've got the Rat Dota, they've got the heroes to do it, so we're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, I'm talking from typical experience where you take a look at graphs where if one is skewed heavily but the other is around even, that is the perfect stage for the team that is at the disadvantage to make the comeback, whether it be through one turnaround team fight or just rat dotaing out the game. And if there's rat dota potential, Top 5 have it, and now, oh, with the Necronomicon, they're going to spot out Ned. King RD can't do anything. Do they have the Stampede to help him out? They're going to pop it. 3-2-1 in a little bit of trouble, taking burn damage. He's going to fall. No, he just nightmares himself. Probably going to get the deny. He does not get the deny. 3-2-1. 1-2-3 actually gets lifted up, but he's going to get swapped out. Meanwhile, Bane gets blown up. He already got blown up. It's going to be Rubik also getting blown up. Now TOVO with the magic missile taking a lot of damage, but the Necronomicon creeps aren't able to follow up with as much. He's going to slowly lumber away. Do they have the shackles? Fly ends up getting the Hex on, but can't get close enough. The shackles on cooldown. Now he's got it, but can he walk up close with the Shiva's Guard? It looks like he won't be able to. The damage from the Necronomicon creep going to King RD, and now XXX diving really far in. I don't know what he's thinking. He ends up taking a fall for nothing. Magic missile flying out, but all of his three are actually there now. King RD, no more Firefly, no more get free past Ned though, with an impale on to Teacher D. The flame break does come out. King RD is still alive. One more auto attack from Fly should be able to steal the deal. It does. Gem hits the deck, and now 1-2-3 going straight on in for it. Meanwhile, Fly will finally take a fall in all of this. Meanwhile, we have ADR just pushing in the top lane, but his split push is not really all that great.
He gets a tower, but I think it would have been a little bit better if he was in the fight, because like in 1-2-3, Zan, whatever you would like to call him, he escapes with the gem, but okay. ADR going to try to make up for it. Look how much damage he just took under the tower. He can't get out in time. He's got no mana because of the Necro units taking his mana, so he did not account for that mana burn as he dove there. That completely caught him off guard, and he feeds a kill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he really understood when he walked into that how much damage he was going to be taking from the Necronomicon creep. And 1-2-3, he just drops a gem into the base. XXX is actually going to be the one to pick it up. How many Necronomicons do they have here? It's going to be...
Two Necro 3s and one Necro 2.
Jeez, man. That is straight up Necro Dota there.
Yeah, it was pretty expected, I think, off the draft. I mean, when you pick up a Lycan, this Nature's Prophet like that, and a Shadow Shaman, you really just want to get this game done by... ooh, he gets pinged out by his own teammate. 1-2-3 accidentally pops a BKB instead of using, I think, the Medallion. I guess he switched up his slots there. Unfortunate. I do hate when that happens, personally.
That is a 10-second BKB, too.
At least the other team doesn't know, though, so...
I mean, usually when they, as soon as they can, they'll take a look at his inventory and find out how long it is, so they might be able to find out. Scotty, though, getting picked up by the Slark, and you can just see how much this does for him if I can find him on the map. It's going to be light blue. Just look at his HP bar. I mean, it's not a heart or anything like that, but it's very damn close, and it also gives good stats to your other attributes, so... I mean, he's actually going to leap into the Roshan pit, and he's doing fairly good damage. He's taking a lot, though, so... Actually, the very slow movement speed finally stacking up. Shiva's Guard being used on that. And... yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to take this for free. Maybe not for free, though. It looks like top 5 are going to split push it out. Ned, he's making his way up top, but there is a gem on Nature's Prophet, and he needs to know this. Does he know it? It doesn't look like he walks within range just yet. Roshan, though, getting very close, but not quite gone just yet. In fact, top 5 might just want to sack this Rosh. They're going to go straight up to the high ground. They know the Rosh is happening, but they don't care. The Glyph gets burned by CNB, and the wards are still up. The Necronomicon creep's still up. The Hex has been used on Ned. He makes quick work of the Necronomicons. It's going to be the tower to take the last hit, though, so losing out on that gold bounty. But the Tier 3 sustains a lot of damage. In fact, it's already at 1/4 of his total HP. So, I don't know. I guess trading a Roshan for 3/4 HP on a Tier 3 tower plus a Tier 2 isn't amazing, but it's still a trade, and they knew they weren't going to be able to get there and contest, so why not?
Yeah, that's really good for top 5, though. Like you said, they're the team behind on one of the graphs. Actually, both of the graphs now. So getting that trade, which was more of a theft, really bodes well for top 5. However, picking up the Aegis on ADR, now they might feel confident enough to just push down this top lane and break the high ground. There's also that Tier 2 tower in the mid lane and bottom that are still online for top 5. As they've had the tower advantage for most of this game, but we do see XXX going to get picked off here in the bottom lane by the river. Nice swap, a selfless swap by Teacher D. potentially unnecessary, as was there any vision? I see the Dire Ward is pretty low, so there must have been a sentry down. Gem is not on either of them. I think Nature's Prophet was okay, so Vengeful Spirit kind of dying in vain.
Well, I think at the moment CNB would be really hard pressed to try to break high ground. There's too much push on the side of top 5 that the lane that CNB decides to push, top 5 are going to push the other ones. And now they're going to go straight onto King RD. Beguinha is there as XXX actually TPs himself in, so Beguinha might actually take a fall here. He goes ahead and Ghost Scepters on up. It's not going to matter. As soon as he comes out, gets blown up. In fact, the Brain Sap was used during the Ghost Scepter to give that bonus damage. Meanwhile, ADR is going to leap himself on away from danger. Now here comes the reinitiation potential as the blink in from King RD. He's going to find the lasso. Already using his Force Staff to get it, though, but the Stampede is going to allow him to get himself out of there. Now the swap, 1-2-3 is still alive, and now the Fiend's Grip, keeping 1-2-3 in the fight. That is beautiful Fiend's Grip. And now ADR will take a fall, popping that Aegis 1-2-3 on his way back to base, but his Wolves still in the fight. XXX now looking to get the Sprout. He does get it. 40R does have the Shadow Blade, but there's still a Eye of Gem of True Sight. Ned taking the butt end of that one, and 1-2-3. What the hell just happened? The Necro creep.
His Necro died in the fire.
Man. I saw the red line happening across the map, and it took a little bit to realize, but I don't know if that was intentional. If 1-2-3 left his Necro creep in the fire for that reason, but that was unfortunate. And now with 1-2-3 half health back in the fight, the wards are not up for Fly, but they still have the Wolves, they still have the Howl. They're going to go straight up with those
They do not need Serpent Wards to just destroy some towers. Here comes ADR there. Will Dark Pact off the Hex as he looks to fight up. Going to take out Teacher D. Teacher D, no swapping, extending the life. Forcing ADR and CNB to fight outside of the base once more, but can they take it? We've got the Shackles up onto Tavo. Bane is not going to be taken out quite yet. Now with the Ghost Scepter buying more and more time for his team, it did make a big difference in that last little skirmish. And I think this is CNB. They're holding their high ground, but as we can see, this game has become very, very difficult for them as Slark starting to trail behind the Nature's Prophet and the Lycan. It's still Batrider leading the game here with 16.7k net worth, but he's not really taking it into the late game as well as the Slark could, and you got to give the late game to this Lycan and Nature's Prophet for top 5.
I mean, a Batrider having net worth is great for the first 30 minutes of the game, but after that, I mean, what more makes a Batrider useful? You need the Blink, you need the Force Staff, Shiva's Guard arguably, and then what else do you get that turns fights? I mean, I can't think of anything really that really helps.
Did you say Sheepstick already?
I said Shiva's. I guess Sheepstick would be the next logical answer, but it is not. 1-2-3 actually gets caught out in the jungle. He'll take a fall, and that opens up the possibility of pushing up to the high ground now for CNB, as that's a pickoff that you really
could
don't
force the
want to
buyback
give.
At least.
Yeah, it's definitely going to force the buyback because they really have no pressure to stop this push now. Lycan is the one that deals the deeps on top 5. When he's gone, I mean, Nature's Prophet can't stand up to what a Lycan can stand up to. And yeah, they're going to go ahead with this big wave, push immediately on the high ground, even with a buyback. I'm not sure they can defend this as well. They will definitely lose their tier 3.
Well, there's a Centaur War Runner in the top lane, though. He is not Nature's Prophet. He cannot just TP down here, as Nature's Prophet already has done. ADR now in some trouble, will be forced half away, nicely impaled to cancel the channeling, and that's going to let ADR free. He's going to run into the base, looking to take out Teacher D on the Vengeful Spirit. Will leap away as his ultimate runs out. There is still a gem up on top 5. The buyback has been forced here by Lycan. Ned trying to get out unscathed. I don't think it's going to happen. He will drop very, very quickly on the backside of things. ADR still fighting, trying to kill that Vengeful Spirit, who's able to live for so long. And all the meanwhile, there's Tavo. Sure, he gave his Stampede to this team fight, but it has not got his team to safety yet. And it's Nyx Assassin who dies. ADR able to TP out of there, and Batrider still trying to run it away. He can go ahead and Blink Dagger out. Should be safe now. And there's a double damage rune. It's going to spawn up. If Roshan was up, it would have been an easy Rosh, I think, for top 5, especially taking the rune, which they don't opt to go for because Tavo's still being annoying in the top lane.
So they got the tier 3. And the bottom lane that opens up the bottom racks for their next push. But overall, I mean, top 5 with a really nice defense, get the return kill. They were a little ability happy on this Slark. They didn't wait for his Dark Pact to go off before they tried to get the Hex off. Instead, they just used it straight up, knowing full well that he was probably going to be able to Dark Pact out of it, and he ended up getting away. Maybe not because of it, but it just made things a little easier for him. So definitely helping him out a little bit. He's already back in, full health, half mana, but doesn't really matter. He's looking for a pick. Fly might be the pick. He goes straight on in. Do they have a Hex for him? They don't really have enough. In fact, King RD comes straight on in. Now with a Phoenix Grip stolen by Rubik. On to 1-2-3, gets swapped out, keeping him alive. Has to pop his ult defensively. Meanwhile, that's going to be a death taken by the Vengeful Spirit, who so graciously swapped out 1-2-3, but will take a fall because of it. On point with saving her teammates, but really, it just means...
But as a result of that selfless play, she is 2-11. She's taking 11 deaths this game.
And do they have enough buybacks to... they do not have any buybacks to help them. In fact, they push high ground. They go immediately for the racks. They do not waste any time. Meanwhile, XXX doing his best to push up into the top lane. They go ahead. The bot racks is already gone. No fort to be used. They ended up not using it. I think they want to use it for this tower if they decide to push it up. XXX is constantly pushing, though. He's looking for it. It looks like he's going to get the Howl to try to help with this push. Here comes the TPs in from Bagrinha. There's not much he can do. He's got a swap, but the tower is dead. Bagrinha, well, I don't think he can solo kill this XXX, the Nature's Prophet, at all. Now here comes the other TP.
On the way back. We're set up the kill here as King RD is going to jump in, throws out the Shiva's Guard. Do they have True Sight? XXX does, but, I mean, this is a worthwhile trade. CNB take 2 lanes of racks. Meanwhile, it's just a tier 3 tower that drops in the top lane. This melee will regen here. Yeah, finally they killed the Siege Wagon. So the melee going to start regenning up.
Pretty quick, too.
I mean, the last lane of racks is top lane, so it doesn't really matter that this is exposed if CNB groups up and just pushes down top.
Yeah, it was a really bad trade, and that's all on the back foot of just getting picked off. I mean, they were grouped up as 2, the Fly and what do we got here? 1-2-3. They're grouped up in the mid lane. They thought they were safe, but when you're going up against a Nyx and a Slark and a Blink Dagger Batrider, you're never safe. And Fly learned that the hard way. He takes a fall with the wards down, as well as the Vengeful Spirit swapping out to save, just barely save 1-2-3. I mean, it's not enough to save your teammates anymore. It has to be you need to take trades or you need to win team fights now. And if they want to rat this game out already down 2 racks, they need to be sure that they're not getting picked off, or else one death at this point can mean game.
Indeed, and Tavo's going to pick up that invisibility, so this could very well lead to that 1 death. He's actually pretty strong despite it being late game. Chicago Ted, he's got an AC and a Heaven's Halberd, and I'd say he's stayed pretty relevant. And I do agree with your point. I mean, it's a hero that does scale off into the late game. But a smart item choice, he goes to Salt Cuirass. I think a Pipe would have helped out a little bit as well. Maybe just more so worried about the physical damage from Lycan and the Necros. But Pipe is always good for breaking the high ground up top, though. Here's another pick-off potential. They will stun up. Do they have vision? The dust is going to go out. XXX in trouble. He did dispose of the gem, so he's not going to be dropping it away to the other team. And actually looking at who has it, the other team doesn't even need it. They've got Necros all over the place. But King RD is going to be sheeped up. They use everything on him, shackling Fiend's Grip as well, but it was, of course, canceled pretty quickly on. Now a flying pig goes through the trees, but he won't make it. And the Rubik here is going to fall into the tree line. Nicely done. ADR on the backside of things, trying to kill this Vengeful Spirit, having a tough time of doing so. XXX has bought back on the Nature's Prophet. ADR continuing to run away. Buyback on the Batrider as well. Spiked Carapace, stunning up a bunch here from Ned. He's buying time. He's fresh out of mana, though, because of all the Necros and their mana burn. Batrider now, it's just 1 on 4, essentially. Look at this, though. Centaur Tavo, once again, not really with the team, but he's just clearing out the base. Looking to force some TPs. There's a lasso, and I think CNB at this point are just buying time with the Shiva's Guard. Like, hey, I'm a bat. I bought back. Come kill me. As they might even just clean up the team as Tavo ends the game.
Yeah, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening. Top 5, they made their final stand, and unfortunately they just weren't able to do anything with it. 1-2-3, he's just biting for dear life and not going to get anything from it. In fact, the 4-staff up to the high ground is not really doing much, as the G's do fly. CNB end up taking this game 1. So top 5 coming out strong, but not able to really follow up as Farm doesn't top pure team fight potential and pure pickoff potential.
Yeah, I thought top 5. They had a rougher early game in laning phase, and I thought they might have. CNB played very well, reacting to anything top 5 was throwing out. The Necro books, though, did look worrisome in the mid game. Top 5 was starting to turn around the team fights, but CNB able to get that first Rax and then a second one, and then at that point, the game starts to get very, very, very hard. They take it out to 43 minutes, but CNB with the win here in game number 1. It's a best of 3 CEVO Season 4. Make sure to check out CEVO.com, support your favorite teams, and you can buy that ticket as well in the store for $2.99. I'm Helium. You can follow me on Twitter at Heliumbrella. And Ted, where can they follow you?
Yeah, you can go ahead over to Twitter and follow me at Ted Cass.